Hey, it's Julian Gordon here from the Multifamily Movement, and today is Movement Mondays. And here we discuss different moves that you can make to create more financial freedom and more generational wealth. As you know, I'm CEO of the Multifamily Movement, and we are family for your financial freedom. And I want to share with you what I see happening in the market right now in terms of where is the safest place to put your money. A lot of people are asking, Julian, where do I put my money that where it can grow and it can grow safely? I'm getting hit hard in the stock market right now. Crypto is down. So where should I put my money at this moment in time? And I want to share with you 8 different places that you can put your money, and you can choose which one is going to be the best for you based on your short term and your long term financial goals. Now, when we start off with this list, the first one is checking accounts. Okay. Checking accounts. We do not want to leave money in checking accounts. The only thing that should be in your checking account is actually your operating expenses, and that is your budget times 2 months. And so, if your monthly budget, including all of your housing expenses, your car notes, student loans, and things of that nature, is $5,000 a month, you should only have $10,000 in your checking account. And the reason we put 2 months in there is just in case you have a financial emergency, your transmission goes out, etc., and all of those automatic payments don't get disrupted because of a lump sum that came out due to an emergency. So the checking account we know yields 0% interest. And so we want to leave as little money as possible in our checking account, right? And so that is the first place to make sure you have some money, 2 months of expenses. But beyond that, that is not where we hold money, all right? So the next place to consider is your savings account. Now, in most cases, the savings accounts like at Bank of America are only yielding 0.03% interest. Yes, you heard me correctly. Not 3%, 0.03%. And using the rule of 72, 72 divided by 0.03 equals 2,400, right? The rule of 72 tells you how many years it will take you to double your money at that particular interest rate. And 72 divided by 0.03 is 2,400 years. So we know that we can't save our way to wealth. And so I know some people say, oh, I'm saving money, and they just move it into a savings account because when you establish your checking account, you might have also got a savings account. But that is also not a good place to put your money right now, especially with inflation. So your money is only growing at 0.03%, but inflation is at 3%. So you're actually losing money. On $100, you made 3 cents, but then you lost $3 worth of buying value due to inflation. So you're losing money by saving money. And this is why Robert Kiyosaki says savers are losers. Okay. So that is number two. So we want to find our way up the scale. And the next one is a high yield savings account. A high yield savings account. All you have to do is Google high yield savings accounts, and you'll find some savings accounts that are yielding literally over 4%. So one of them is CIT Bank. I think American Express has a savings account that is at 4%. Robinhood is also at 4%. The only reason I discourage you from putting money or saving money in Robinhood is because you might be inclined to take some of that money out and actually go invest it in the stock market without doing the proper education in terms of your investment. And so there are options out there literally where you just have to wire money. You can literally establish the account in 15 minutes, wire money within 24 hours, and all of a sudden your money is growing at a what? 100 times greater rate than in a savings account, literally over 100 times greater growth rate because you put it in a high yield savings account. And so I encourage you to research those. If you have more than your emergency fund, excuse me, more than your 2 months of living expenses in your checking account, then I encourage you to put any excess money that you have sitting in a high yield savings account. It also puts it away from you and makes it a little bit distant so that you don't feel inclined to spend it. And you have to think twice, right, before you access that pool of money, and especially with it growing at 4%. So that means if you have $100,000 in a high yield savings account, that's $4,000 a year. That's like $300 a month that you were getting. $325 per month that you were getting. That's a cell phone bill. That might be a car note in some cases. That might pay your student loan payment simply because you move money from a regular savings account to a high yield savings account. And so that's really a safe place to put money if you don't know what to do with your money at this moment in time. Right now, with this new administration, the market is taking a hit. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market with what Trump is doing in office. And so the S&P 500 right now is down 4.33% as of today. Year to date, it is down 4.33%. Now, over the past, 11 years, it has grown at about 10 or 11% on average. But right now, it is down. And of course, yes, you say buy low, sell high. So it might be a good time to buy. But you have to be able to do your research. Right now, I do know that Warren Buffett is holding a lot of cash right now. And so, what that communicates to me, being that he's one of the greatest investors of all time, is that he's ready to make a power move when the market drops even more. Bitcoin is also down 14.96% at this moment in time. And so a lot of people say when the market is going crazy, go save or invest in crypto, but crypto is down. And of course, there are time horizons. You have to determine what your time horizon is. Some of you are trying to retire within the next 5 years. Some of you watching this video are younger and you have a longer time horizon. And yes, you can make up that growth over a longer period of time. But when you see what is happening in the market, there are times where you can pull out, right, and not sit in the dip. You can pull out, sit on the sidelines, put money in a high yield savings account, and then put it back in when you think you are ready, when you think it's reached its trough based on your research, right? Gold futures right now are up 8.3%. Oftentimes, when the economy is going crazy, a lot of people invest in gold. Now, I believe gold is a valuable resource, but the reality is that we don't know how to make it valuable. So if I had a gold brick right now, it's perceived valuable because it's, I guess, scarce, but I don't know how to make it valuable. You know what I'm saying? So I don't tend to invest in precious metals because I don't know how to make them valuable. At the end of the day, if I have 10 gallons of water and you have $1 million, am I going to take your $1 million in exchange for my 10 gallons of water? No. When we really think about what is valuable, you realize that the water is actually more valuable than the money. And so I don't invest heavily in futures or, excuse me, in precious metals in that way. But there is, if you look at patterns between the stock market and gold, stock market dips, gold goes up, etc., you'll see some patterns there. And maybe you feel comfortable investing in that particular type of asset. Now, another one that people think about is, should I buy a home now? Should I invest in single family real estate? I can put 3.5% down, in some cases 0% down, and I can get into a house, get rid of my rent expense, but now I'm in a single family home. And I believe that that is one of the most dangerous things that you can do right now. Yes, your realtor is going to tell you that single family real estate appreciates at about 3% per year. So if you put 10% down on a $300,000 home, that's only $10,500 down, but now you are getting 3% appreciation on a $300,000 home, which is $9,000 per year, right? They'll try to give you that argument. But right now, the housing market is at an all-time high, and I don't know if that 3% appreciation is going to continue. Right now, sales are down on existing homes. Sales are down 4.9% in January on existing homes, and they're down 10.5% on new construction. And so, what that means is that the demand for housing is down right now, or single-family homes. And as a result, when demand goes down, guess what? Price goes down. And so that appreciation and that equity that some single family buyers have right now is going to start to evaporate when the market responds. The other danger about single family homes right now is not only the interest rate, with the interest rate being around 6.6%, when you buy a single family home at that particular interest rate, you will pay double for the home. At about a 5.5% interest rate is where you pay double for the home. So if you buy a $300,000 home, you're actually going to pay $300,000 or more in interest over 30 years. So that's very, very dangerous to buy a home at these particular interest rates and prey on or hope for appreciation over time. There is going to be a cap to the single family home market. And one of the reasons there's going to be a cap is because while the mortgage may be affordable, the property taxes and the insurance keep on rising. So there are people out there who have paid off their mortgage in entirety, right? Have no more mortgage, don't owe the bank anything, own the home outright, but their property taxes and their insurance, and the big one that everybody forgets about, which is maintenance, is still going up because the housing inventory is old. So now you have a 30-year-old home, property taxes are going up and you can't do anything about it, and insurance is going up, and you could opt to self-insure, meaning that you just set aside money on your own for insurance if you've paid off the mortgage. But if you have a mortgage, the bank is going to require you to have insurance, and so you have no option. And in some cases, people are going to be paying more in property taxes, insurance, and maintenance than they actually do for the principal and interest on their single family home. So I believe that a single family home is actually one of the most dangerous things that you can buy. And it is actually a liability in today's marketplace, right? At least with rent. While rent is money going out the door, so is property taxes, so is homeowners insurance, right? while rent is money going out the door, at least you know it's going to be $2,500 every single month. When a single family buyer has a leak in their roof and they need a $10,000 roof, guess where that's coming from? That's coming from their retirement, right? And so this is why so many Americans are house poor, meaning that they spend over 40% of their money that comes into their home on housing, right? And we talk about, oh, I'm a single family buyer, I'm not paying rent anymore. Yes, you are. You're not paying rent for space. You're paying rent to the bank to rent money. That rent is called interest. And so this is one of the most dangerous things that you can buy at this particular time. And I think people are realizing that. And that's why home sales are down at this particular time. Now, my favorite asset class is multifamily real estate. Even if you want to buy property right now, the safest type of property to buy is a multifamily home, because now, even though you're buying real estate, you have other people helping you with the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, capex, repair reserve, and vacancy rate, right? You have tenants. If it's a triplex, you have two tenants. If it's a fourplex, you have three other tenants who should be covering all of those expenses and leaving you with cash flow. And in some markets where housing is even more expensive, you may not have cash flow, but you might get rid of your housing expense. And that's a win in today's world, right? That's a win in today's world, because the single family homes are going to become more and more expensive to maintain, and fewer people are actually going to want to keep them. The other expense that I forgot to mention when it comes to a single family home is rising utility costs. So if you need to heat or cool a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, that expense is also rising. And this is why grandma has to sell her home oftentimes, is because she can't afford it on fixed income. So we got to be very careful with the types of real estate that we're buying at this moment in time. I also believe in tiny homes, less than 1,000 square feet. I have a good friend who builds them out here in Atlanta, and the demand for those, they sell out before they're even built, because people, I think, see the dangers of buying a big single family home that they have to maintain with high property taxes, high insurance, having a smaller footprint, and just buying a home that serves what you need right now. I think he's creating the new starter home, which is very, very powerful. So for me, it's tiny home or multi-family home if you want to get into real estate. But even with all that said, I believe that the number one investment is not any of those things at this moment in time. I believe that the number one investment is actually investing in yourself. Now, I know a lot of people say that, but what does it actually mean? What does it mean to invest in yourself? When I talk about investing in yourself, I'm talking about putting money into your mind. I believe actually in time tithing. I believe in time tithing, and I believe in tithing to your temple. A lot of people tithe to the church, which is good, right? But I believe that you also should tithe to your temple. Imagine who you would be or where you would be in your life if you invested 10% of everything you earn back into yourself. Because when you get better, everything around you gets better. You are like yeast. When you are at the center of everything in your life, everything expands because you expanded, right? So, what does investing in yourself look like? It looks like getting books. Here's my book, Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind. Getting books. It doesn't have to be this one, right? But buying books and reading them, time tithing and financial tithing into yourself and reading them. That's investment. Taking an online class, right? There's free classes at Harvard, developing a new skill, getting a certification, not going back to graduate school, not paying $30,000, $40,000. We're not doing that, right? We're not playing that game anymore. But if there's a $2,000 certification that can teach you AI or some skill that's going to be relevant to your career, then that's investing in yourself. And so I think about investing in yourself in a couple categories: mindset, skill sets, and assets. So mindset is, again, education, learning more, doing some self-assessment, getting a coach, even getting a coach, right, and a therapist to really help you think about how you think, about life in the world, and see if you shifting your perspective actually changes your experience of life. So those are examples of ways that you can invest in your mindset. Then skill sets, like I said, going and getting a certification, declaring that you want to master something in particular, and finding a niche within your industry, finding a skill set that you want to bank the next 5 to 10 years of your life on, right? if you look at the word prosperity, the first three letters of the word prosperity are PRO, meaning that in order to be prosperous, guess what? You got to be a pro at something. And most people are not pros at anything. They never achieve mastery, and therefore they end up getting average pay in the marketplace. The people who get the highest pay are the ones who establish mastery at something. And so I want you to declare what skill set or subject you want to master in the next year that you are open and willing to bank the next 5 to 10 years of your life on. Okay. And then finally, assets. I encourage everybody to pick a primary and a secondary asset class to master and learn and practice. Of course, my first asset class is multifamily real estate. My second asset class is funds, right? Building funds where we buy businesses, where we buy real estate deals together as a collective. So these are the two asset classes that I seek to master and that are the foundations of my wealth. And so these are the things that I want you to think about as we head into this week. There's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. A new administration is in office, and you have to really think of as a spiritual steward, because this money is not ours, right? Our name is not on it. We can't take it with us. We're not from here. We are immigrants. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we can't take their stuff with us, right? But while we're here, we're meant to be good stewards of this resource called money. And one of the things that we have to do to become better stewards is actually determine where money should go in certain seasons, right? Just because that particular asset class worked for you in the past doesn't mean that that's the asset class that you should be pursuing today. And so you have to know when to pull out, where to hold or park that money until you find another opportunity to invest in where you can see growth, right, in a particular market or industry, or you can actually fuel that growth through your own action and activity. All right. So I hope this episode of Movement Mondays helped you make a money move that is going to help you become more financially free and create more generational wealth. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them. I will see you next week and I wish you the best. Peace.
What's up, y'all? It's Julian Gore from the Multifamily Movement, and this is my community behind me. It's 300 of us out here in Baton Rouge for our tour of our commercial properties, our flips, our vacant lots. We're also raising money just to build this real estate portfolio collectively through group economics. So it's so beautiful to see everybody here. We 6 buses deep. This is also our building behind us at Legacy on 14th Street. So this is real estate in real life, and this is real people. This is not just some online community or course. We out here really doing it together as a collective. So this is family, Multifamily Movement in the building. Everybody say multifamily on 3. The whole crew, y'all. So when you want to learn how to get in the game, much love. Peace.